what do they think in the middle of the night, what wakes them up in the middle of the night, those things, what do they go through in life. Hi guys, so in this module we're going to talk about the why, the what, the who, and the how. So why do we need to do this? The reason is, the more powerful the why is, the what and the who and the how happens automatically. Say for example, someone asks you to walk on a wood plank, say 10 meters long wood plank, and they said they're going to give you 20 pounds, and they leave it on the floor for you to walk on the wood plank. And what happens is, you will be like, okay, I'll walk. But then all of a sudden they say they leave it on top of 2 buildings and they ask you to walk. Would you walk? No, you wouldn't walk, even if they give you 100,000. But then all of a sudden, imagine your son was on the other building and it's on fire, and you have to walk on this plank in order to save this kid. Would you do that? Would you ask for money for that, or would you just walk? So the why is very, very important. The stronger the why, the drive you get is very strong, and then it will pull you through all the distractions and all the problems you face on your way towards achieving your goal. That's why the why is very important. So we'll look at the why, and why are you doing this? Why do you have this sort of goal? So we dig deeper into the why to find out, because the deeper you dig, then you will open yourself up, and then you will understand the real why. Because most of the time the real why is not building a lot of assets and buying things. It's not about things. It's mostly to do other people things. So that's why it's very important. Then we come to the next main topic on this module, which is the what. What are you selling, or what am I selling? So this is something that many people have a problem, because they have an idea, but they're not sure about the what. So how do you decide on what you're going to sell, or what course you're going to do, or the mastermind, or whatever you're going to do? What are you going to do it on? This is very important. So when it comes to the what, there are 4 ways of deciding. First way is to, because we've all messed up in our lives at some stage, right? So if you have messed up in some sort of way, but you overcame that problem, then you are in front of many people who are either in the process of messing up or going to mess up in future. Say for example, you went through a divorce, but now you have a lot of experience. Now you know what to do, what not to do, in order to avoid a lot of things. So you're charging for that gap that you're filling, for the speed. You're just filling in their gap, and then you're charging them for providing that valuable information. It could be someone could have been addicted to drugs, and they've overcome that. Now they know how to get over it. So maybe someone wants to overcome that, or someone wants to become vegan, maybe, I don't know. So anything like that you can teach. So that is one thing. And then the second thing is a skill or expertise. So if you have some sort of skill, maybe it's to do with your profession, maybe you have a lot of experience in terms of your job, or you know accounts, maybe you know Excel, anything that you professionally learned. Or if you have some sort of skill, it could even be like a sport, so that you can build up a course on. The third one is, if you have a passion, if you have a hobby, if you love something, you can create the course based on that passion. So that's the third one. And finally, you can become a reporter. Many reporters became very famous. For example, in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill was a reporter. He didn't write his own experience. He took advice from other people, other successful people. And Tony Robbins is another reporter. If you read Dale Carnegie's books, for example, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, or How to Win Friends and Influence People, he's a reporter in these books. So these are multi-million bestsellers. So like that, you can become a reporter and decide on what you want to sell. The third one we're going to talk about is who we are going to sell. But before going to the who, on the what, we also need to narrow it down. You can't just think, okay, I'm going to be a fitness coach, I'm going to be a musician, or I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to teach art. Because it's 7 billion people, you have to narrow it down for them to resonate with you, so that they think, oh, this is what I'm looking for. For example, say you're a fitness coach, but you're only targeting men between 40 and 55 who are over 100 kilograms, and your target is to bring it down to 80. So if someone is over 100, this is like, oh, this is me, I'm over 40, I'm over 100 kilograms, I want to bring it down to 80, so this is my man, kind of thing. So this is very important. Otherwise, if you talk to someone and say, oh, I'm a fitness coach, why would they come to you? You should create a reason why. If you go narrow it down, then they will feel like, oh, this is my man, this is what I'm looking at. Not, I don't want the best coach in the world, this man has got the specific things that I need. So things like that. So even if it's art, you can narrow it down to whether it's for adults you want to teach, or whether it's painting, water-based, or what type of art it is, and then narrow it down. Then we come to further narrowing, but we look at the customer, we look at the dream client or the avatar, and then we narrow it down. Oh, how old are they? The way to think about this is, you imagine you have a room next door and a room full of people. So now they're asking you to come and coach or give a lecture about whatever you're selling. So now you need to think, what type of people do you want to be in that room? Is it all elderly people, or is it young people? Is it wealthy people? Is it educated people? Is it from you need to get into the demographics. So the age, maybe where they come from, maybe their culture, maybe the income, maybe the job, maybe the sex, whether it's a male or female that you prefer to teach to. So things like that. The more you narrow down, the more specific you become, it gets better when it comes to selling, because they will resonate more with you. Then you start thinking, oh, what do they think? Where do they hang out? What are the problems that they face? What do they think in the middle of the night? What wakes them up in the middle of the night? Those things, what do they go through in life? So then you understand them, then you can address them, you can think the way they think, and then you can create a connection with them very easily. That's why you need to understand and go dig deeper. So it's 7 levels narrow. We look at that in terms of who we are going to sell it to. Then comes to the how. How are we going to sell? So we looked at the what. At the same time, the what is also, are we going to sell a mastermind? Is it a course? Is it a book? These kind of things should be addressed in the what as well. Now, how is, are we going to sell on social media? Which social media platforms do we use? And how are we going to market this? So these are the things that we look at when it comes to the how. When we come to the how, we also look at things like the story, teach, action tool. So you give the story, you give a background story so that they can resonate it with, and then you teach the theory behind it, and then you give some action for them to do it. So these will drive them towards achieving the goal. So this is very important as well. So if you want to join our course, which is starting in January next year, Send us a message and we'll talk you through. We will have a meeting, we will have a Zoom call, and then we'll go through and see if you're right fit, and then you can start in our next batch in January. See you then.